Hi guys, how are you? Happy Thursday night. I am here with Bellaby. We are getting ready for our nightly story, and tonight our story is going to be called The Greedy Triangle, and it is by Marilyn Burns. I love this story. It's about shapes and how this poor triangle, he wants to be something else because he thinks all the other shapes are so much cooler. So let's get started. The Greedy Triangle. Once there was a triangle that was, as most triangles are, always busy. The triangle spent its time holding up roofs, supporting bridges, making music in a symphony orchestra, catching the wind for sailboats, being slices of pie and halves of sandwich, and much, much more. So there's the sandwich, there's the pie, the sailboat, roofs, the music triangle. The triangle's favorite thing, however, was to slip into places when people put their hands on their hips. That way, I always hear the latest news, it said, which I can tell my friends. Oh. So if you look carefully, the king is putting his hand on his hip, and right there makes a triangle. And so is the queen. She has her hand on her hip, and then there's a triangle.
These are the triangle, this is the triangle.
Yep, you gotta move your horse back though, okay? The triangle's friends liked hearing the news. One day, the triangle began to feel dissatisfied. I'm tired of doing the same old things, it grumbled. There must be more to life. So the triangle went to see the local shapeshifter. How may I help you? The shapeshifter asked the triangle. I think if I had just one more side and one more angle, said the triangle, my life would be more interesting. That's easy to do, said the shapeshifter. Poof! The shapeshifter turned the triangle into a quadrilateral. So there he is, he's getting changed. And then a quadrilateral is a shape that has four sides and four corners. So like rectangles, squares, rhombuses, trapezoids.
And this is what's turning into different, and this is the one that's talking to the Sierra.
All right, we gotta listen, okay? Life changed in a wonderful way. The quadrilateral was happy with all the new things it could do. The quadrilateral could be a baseball diamond, or first, second, or third base. It could take a position on a checkerboard or a chessboard. It could be a television screen, a computer screen, or a movie screen. It could be frame windows or frame pictures, and much, much more. The quadrilateral's favorite thing, however, was to be on the pages of a book. I learned so many interesting stories that way, it said, which I can tell my friends. The quadrilateral's friends liked hearing all the stories.
And this is,
Hold on, we're going to keep going, okay? You can tell me in a second, okay? But one day, the quadrilateral began to feel dissatisfied. I'm tired of doing the same old thing, it grumbled. There must be more to life. So the quadrilateral went back to the shapeshifter. How may I help you now? The shapeshifter asked the quadrilateral. I think if I had just one more side and one more angle, said the quadrilateral, my life would be more interesting. That's easy to do, said the shapeshifter. Poof! The shapeshifter turned the quadrilateral into a pentagon. So there's the pentagon. He started there. He started getting changed by the shapeshifter, and that's what he turned into.
and Mommy, this is what he turned into. And the shapeshifter, he's turning into a different one.
Yeah.
And what is this?
That's the shapeshifter. That's the man who's doing the changing. Life changed in a wonderful way. The pentagon was happy with all the new things it could do. On a baseball diamond, the pentagon could be home plate. It could be the section on a soccer ball, or appear inside whenever someone drew a 5-pointed star. The pentagon's favorite thing, however, was to be the headquarters of the United States military near Washington, D.C. I hear all the top secrets that way, it said. It's too bad I can't tell them to my friends. The Pentagon friends couldn't help feeling left out. After a while, time seemed to pass slowly for the Pentagon, and again it became dissatisfied. I'm tired of doing the same old thing, it grumbled. There must be more to life. So the Pentagon went back to the shapeshifter. So, you're here again, the shapeshifter said to the Pentagon. Now what would you like me to do? I think if I just had one more side and one more angle, said the Pentagon, my life would be more interesting. That's easy to do, said the shapeshifter. Poof! The shapeshifter turned the Pentagon into a hexagon. So now you can really see, here's the shapeshifter. He's that purple design.
Yeah, and this is the shapeshifter. He's that purple design. And this is the one that,
A pentagon, and they're turned into a hexagon, right?
yeah.
Okay, let's go to our next page. Life changed in a wonderful way. The hexagon was happy with all the new things it could do. The hexagon fit into floor tiles in houses and patios, the fancy crackers at parties and picnics. It worked as a socket of certain bolts and the prong on certain wrenches. The hexagon's favorite thing, however, was to be the cell in a beehive. I love watching the bees as they buzz in and out, it said. The hexagon spent so much time in the beehive, it was too busy to talk to his friends. The friends missed the hexagon, and they couldn't help feeling ignored.
And Mommy,
Hold on real quick, okay?
Okay, Mama.
Thanks. Again and again, the shape became restless and dissatisfied and unhappy with its life. Again and again, it returned to the shapeshifter for more sides and more angles. The shapeshifter agreed to turn it into one shape after another. A heptagon, an octagon, a nonagon, a decagon, and on and on. Finally, the shape had so many sides and many angles. Its sides were so small that it had trouble keeping its balance. Its friends couldn't tell which side it was on, and they began to avoid the shape.
Mommy.
Hold on, please. So he's going to keep changing them to give him more sides, and then he almost looks like a circle because he has so many sides that they're starting to get smaller and smaller and smaller, and his poor friends, they're just feeling like they don't want to hang out with him anymore.
And Mommy, this is his, and the shapeshifter is turning them and turning them and turning them. And
Hold on, keep going, okay? One day, the shape was going down a hill. It began to roll. Faster and faster it went, screeching around corners, crashing into fences and trees, colliding with bicycles and terrifying walkers. At last, the shapeshifter came to a stop. It felt tired and dizzy, lonely and sad. Hold on.
And Mommy,
Hold on, let's finish our story first, okay? Enough, thought the shape. I don't know which side is up. I can't keep my balance. My friends don't want to be around me. The shape could no longer remember why it had been so unhappy as a triangle. Very carefully, it made its way back to the shapeshifter. Aren't you happy yet? The shapeshifter asked. I want to be a triangle again, said the shape. I'm not surprised, said the shapeshifter. Poof! The shapeshifter turned the shape back into a triangle.
and
So if you look, there he is. He's going into the shapeshifter's door. There's the shapeshifter changing him, and he goes poof, back into the triangle.
and Mommy, this is the
Shapeshifter.
shapeshifter, and he is turning them into
A triangle. Good job. The triangle was delighted to have its old shape back again and kept itself very busy. Once again, it held up roofs, supported bridges, made music in a symphony orchestra, caught the wind for sailboats, became slices of pie and halves of sandwiches, and much more.
And Mommy,
Hold on.
Okay.
Still, the triangle's favorite thing was to slip into places when people put their hands on their hips. That way, I always hear the latest news, it said, which I can tell my friends. Its friends liked hearing the news and were glad the triangle was back in shape again.
And Mommy, right here, he turned into a triangle, and there are the people putting it on their hips together, making a triangle.
Yeah, here, let's see. Bella, stand up.
Okay.
Okay, on the couch. All right, can you put your hands on your hip? She made a triangle. You guys should try making a triangle tonight too. Thank you guys so much for coming to our story. We'll see you guys later. Can you tell everyone good night?
Good night.